Good afternoon. I don't think the audio is working on the slides.
Today is one of those rare moments in history when an innovative technology arrives that radically transforms business and society forever. That technology, of course, is artificial intelligence, AI. With the rapid advances in AI, there is a real risk of these technologies being used for cyber attacks.
In particular, we'll examine the misuse of AI technology as a means of impersonating individuals.
It's clear how this irresponsible use could enhance a social engineering attack and make it more believable.
We encourage participants to consider how they use AI technology and how a hacker could exploit that.
Who is Vio? He is an industry professional passionate about product innovation acceleration through university R&D.
In the past decade, he has managed more than 150 research projects involving 35 universities.
On a technical level, Vio specializes in cybersecurity and cybercrime.
He has been in this space for 20+ years in various technical, academic, and management roles.
He is co-director of the University of Ottawa and IBM Cyber Range.
Adjunct professor at the University of Ottawa.
Head of Center for Advanced Studies and Master Inventor, IBM Canada Lab.
I am also an AI-generated avatar with HeyGen right now.
In fact, all the people in this video are avatars. Thank you for your attention, PST Industry Summit 2024 participants. Let's start.
All right, so in Steve Sparks' words, close to magic. You know, yeah, you should, HeyGen, they are the real heroes here. You know how easy it is to make that thing? Yeah, nobody was real there. It was a script that I gave and some sort of recording. But, I thought that looking from that angle, we can see how easy it is to manipulate media and to manipulate the message that you are conveying. So I call it, and many people, the art of deception, right? So a technology is a technology. It's how you use it that makes it bad or good. And yes, we should not stop inventing, but we need to be aware of how these technologies can be used, improperly. So, creating new art. We'll start with easy stuff. Everybody knows this, right? Like you can now use AI to generate pictures, and you just give it a prompt, and it's just gonna spit out a nice image. And the sky is the limit here on what you do. Well, I have a friend. This friend of mine. He finished, a bachelor in arts, and he is afraid of his job because, there isn't, much that he can do to compete with AI. Is it or is it not? Many of us will have other friends. This is, by the way, everything that I have, there are links to the articles. You can go ahead and read them. There are projections of people losing their jobs, right? And I want to go back to the tractor example that Professor Ibrahim Bagheri brought up, right? When that thing happened, people lost jobs, but society didn't stop. We just adapted, and those people end up doing something else. I think in the previous panel we talked about the importance of retraining and the importance of skills. And all these people that are afraid of losing their jobs, I think that that they will find different ways to fulfill their basic needs of contributing to the society, as well as improve what they are doing by using AI. I think all the panelists in the previous panel discussed about this aspect. The idea of AI helping humans to do better at their job. I think that's a very powerful idea and a very powerful concept. Going back to Ibrahim's talk about the glasses, I have glasses. I know what he meant when he said, you know, technology is helping humans do what they couldn't do before. And I think AI is going to do exactly the same thing if it's used, you know, in the proper way. Now, the problem is you can start creating false truth. This is a website. It's called "This Person Does Not Exist." You can go to that URL and play with the various things that are there, such as gender, age, ethnicity. Press play, and guess what? A picture is going to come up. That's not a person. That's an AI-generated thing. Now, that's very nice, but we live in US and Canada, and both of those places in North America, they have ways of people submitting to, you know, to create a passport, an ID card. And check this out. There are instructions on how to make the pictures. Like you need to be centered, you cannot smile, it needs to be face front, you know, all these things. How hard would it be to use the previous website to generate one of those pictures? I'm thinking. Not hard. Right, so I'm going back to what Steve earlier mentioned in the panel about, you know, passports and the way that our society is relying on some pieces of IDs to identify you as human. And if those things, you know, are obtained when they shouldn't have been obtained, then all other elements of our society, they will, you know, just help the malicious actor to do different things that they shouldn't be doing, right? So that's an interesting aspect. False sense of personal memory. You know, there is a website, and you have the link there. And you can upload your grandma's picture, and you can make her talk. And that's great. Except that you got to be very, very careful, because once you see that, you cannot unsee it. So it creates a, you know, it can create, they trademark it, and it's called deep nostalgia. So it can create something in your brain that, you know, it's actually not related to reality. It's something that you have manufactured. And, you know, this virtual reality is talking to you, and over time, maybe your memory of your grandma is not going to be her, it's going to be this picture that is talking to you. I'm not saying that, again, a tool is a tool. It's depending on how you use it, right? The technology is not bad or good. It's just the use of it from the individuals that makes the difference. And then comes Deepfake. And here, the sky is the limit. I don't know if you guys know about this company, Metaphysic. But there is a video I included in my slide. We're not going to show this video, but I can summarize it for you. They were doing deepfake in real time at America Got Talent, impersonating Simon Cowell from another person. So there is a person that was singing, and in real time, they were doing deepfake on that, and, you know, impersonate. You should check this video out. It's really mind-blowing for people. Now, I know in this room, we are all familiar with deepfake. I kid you not everybody is familiar with deepfake. And you go out in the society and you show a video like that, and they believe what they see. They don't question it for a second. And so, you know, this brings it to another level. I'm just going to skip over the video, but in interest of time, but the link is there. You can watch it for your entertainment later on. Right, so there are reasons why there are rules about, you know, in this case, know your customer or know your client. You know, there are reasons why when we call call office, they ask us questions about our identity. They are trying to figure out if who you are is, what you say. But, that can be deceived by using technology. We have this individual who managed to basically bypass the verification of a bank, and there is an entire article there that you can read about, what he was doing. But, it comes down to money as well, right? Like money is money, and if you can do some sort of extraction of funds from someone, then that's more lucrative than just to show that you can bypass something. So long time ago in 2019, there was this news about how a scam was conducted by using technology. And they managed to get, in this case, $240,000 by using the deepfake technology. Now, fast forward, and I want to talk about what Irene was saying earlier in the panel. She was mentioning this news later on, like that happened this year, where they managed to exfiltrate or to get 20 million based on. So imagine, you don't know about deepfakes, or even if you do, you go into a Teams call, and all your leadership team is there, and they are telling you to wire the money, and they are all deepfakes, and you have no idea. So they talk with you in real time. Their faces are converted to your leadership team, and they are telling you what to do. You're going to do it. It's very convincing. So that's what happened in this case, right? They investigated, and that was it. The employee got into a Teams meeting where everybody was a deepfake. And you can see that, in my first video, it was me talking, but I had no accent, which I know I have, and I can, but it can also be, you saw in the video that there were different accents from different ethnicities, right? So you can overimpose those things. So you can make it very real. You can make it so that, it sounds and looks like the person that you think you're talking to. A couple of stats for your pleasure. IBM has this a cost of a data breach report that we do every year, and this is just a number that to keep in mind. That's in US dollars, 4.8 million. That's the average. As we saw in the previous example, it can go to 22 million. Depending on the size of this. It's good to see that the AI is helping as well in mitigating things. So those are some other numbers that you can look at of companies benefiting for the use of AI. AI can be used in many different ways, and I know that this audience that we have today is very familiar with that. Just to summarize it, deepfakes, adversarial AI generated, as well as malware creation. Malware creation is something that, for instance, X-Force Threat Intelligence released a report about a particular hacking group that are using actively AI to basically bypass security, basically create a 0-day. Right? We always talk about 0 days, right? And don't and the rule-based versus anomaly-based. But this thing is using AI to basically bypass and recreate itself as So it's an interesting article. If you want to read it, you have the link there. And then you go even further than that. You can do, misinformation, or, to mass audiences, right? Like we talked about the impact of media that it has on our society and how everybody believes the stories, right? Even the opening remarks today were saying that, in media we all have bad news, and that's what we believe, and we never see the good news because, nobody's looking at good news. You gotta have, a punch to your news. So, a punch to your news is the bad news. And so that actually makes it so that you can manipulate masses. And I'm not sure if you are familiar with this video. Feel free to watch it afterward. But this is a clear example of using deepfake to manipulate, an entire, well, actually, the entire society in believing, or your constituents in believing that, they should be doing something when they should not be doing that thing. I'm going to skip over it. Now, yes, we know that there are, governments are trying to fight back on this and, put some regulations in place. But the question is, how do you regulate this? How do you make sure that, whatever you do, it's tangible and feasible to be implemented? So those are some of the examples of what's happening around the world, and trying to, act upon, building better strategies for, in order to regulate AI, basically, right? Now, we also see that the private sector is fighting back as well. There is a company that I just discovered recently, and Reality Defender, right? They have a set of algorithms that will basically detect deepfakes. And that's important because if you are watching the news, you want to make sure that, who's talking is the real person, right? And so there is a shift into fighting back the bad use of the AI, advancements. We also, think about the two sides of AI, the fact that you have security for AI and you have AI for security, right? You gotta secure models. You gotta, protect what AI is doing, but you also want to use AI in order to advance the security state of your business. So these are two parallel constructs that will, help companies or public sector, private sector moving forward, and very important to be considered, right? Again, technology is technology. How do you use it to make a difference? This is the end of my slides. I would like to conclude this, and I want to have enough time for one or two questions. But my talk was meant to just be to summarize of what's happening there, and to show that there are good uses of AI and bad uses of AI, and we cannot be oblivious to the bad uses. We need to understand them. We need to understand and practice how easy it is to use AI these days, how easy it is to impersonate a person these days, how easy it is to just get 2 minutes of your talk and then train a model that will sound like you and talk like your script, just like you saw in the opening video. It's amazing how this technology is at the fingerprint of everyone, for the good uses and for the bad uses. And as we reflect on the journey of AI and what's going to happen next, we cannot be oblivious to the fact that it can also be used for malicious things. So thank you.